Welcome to the Edge You Magic New Educator podcast, the go-to show for supporting new educators navigating the exciting journey from campus to the classroom. Join your host, Dr. Sam Fesich, for a blend of inspiration, advice, and practical strategies, one cup of coffee at a time.
I'm Shanna Martin, host of the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast, a part of the Education Podcast Network, just like the show you're listening to now. Shows on the network are individually owned, and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other interesting education podcasts at edupodcastnetwork.com.
Hey there, Edu-Magicians, and welcome back to another episode of the Edu-Magic Podcast. My name is Dr. Sam Fesich, and today we are diving into the Fall 24 Student Teacher Planner. I am so excited to break this planner down and let you know all the details to help you get organized for student teaching Fall 24. So it's August, and around this time, student teachers start to look through TPT and find all sorts of resources and blog posts to help them get organized for student teaching. This can cause a little bit of stress and a little bit of anxiety. I mean, what do you include in your student teacher planner? How do you get it organized and ready to go for the new semester ahead to work with students? These are all questions that student teachers have come up with, and I've developed a student teacher planner to help you minimize that stress and show you exactly what to put in that student teacher planner so you are ready to go, hit the ground running, and feel successful and prepared for your student teaching placement. All right, so again, this is the Fall 24 Edu-Magic Student Teacher Planner. You can find it over on TPT. The link is in the show notes. You can scroll down right now and check it out. And if you're listening in real time, TPT is actually having their summer sale. So if you are a TPT fan, you probably already know that, but the store is on sale and there are things on sale for 25% off. So the student teacher planner is normally $8. You can get it between August 6th and 7th for $6.40. There's also an amazing bundle that you can grab, normally priced at $19, and it's on sale for $13.68. And in that bundle, there is classroom procedures, student teacher first week checklist, meet the student teacher letter, meet the student teacher name templates, essential stuff to put in your bag, the student teacher planner, of course, teaching philosophy template, hourly schedule, and 30 additional reflection prompts. So that's all over on TPT. So let's go ahead and break down just the planner part. So this planner was designed with student teachers in mind, not only budget friendly, but also you can either download it as a PDF and use your PDF editor to add stuff to the planner, or if you're like me, and this is how I prefer to use it, print it all out. There's over 280 pages to print. I made it black and white scale, grayscale, so it's easy on the ink budget, but print it out, pop some 3-ring holes in it, and put it into a 3-ring binder. That way I have everything there. That's how I prefer to use it. And then I go and I use those little dividers and divide up the parts of my planner. So the first part that we're going to talk about is placement details and reflections. So on this first page of your planner, we have information about the mentor teacher, their contact information, the school information, the class number, the teacher's email address, information about your student teacher advisor, their email, the dates of your placement, and some things to think about before you arrive to your student teaching placement. So did you meet the university's expectations and requirements before starting your placement? Did you create an introductory letter for your mentor teacher? Did you email your introductory letter and connect with your mentor teacher? Did you create a letter for students or an activity, an about me activity? Understand how to get to the school and have a backup plan, because you never know when there's going to be traffic or construction or maybe weather delays when it comes to getting to that school. And I recommend trying to drive at different times so you can adjust your timing for back to school traffic, like buses and things like that. Make sure that you set up before it's time to go so you're not frantic in the morning. So you have what you're going to wear, everything all picked out, your lunch, everything is packed and ready to go in your bag. And understand where you need to park, what time you need to arrive, what are your school hours, what time do you need to be there. All throughout this planner, there are spots for you to jot down notes. One of my favorite parts of the planner is the classroom sketch, where you get to sketch out what the classroom looks like. Maybe you have different centers in your classroom. Maybe you have different periods. So you have different pages that you can use to sketch out those placements. Maybe you have a lab place or a spot for maybe students are in groups or in tables, whatever it might be. Maybe there's an awesome reading corner. So there's lots of spaces for you to sketch out the classroom design and layout, and you can jot down where students sit, things like that. Another part within the planner are the spot for your standards. Now, this is where you would either print out your standards and put them here in your planner, or what I like to do, and it saves some trees, is to have a QR code that goes to the pages online that have my specific standards that I'm working from. So then I can just scan the QR code and find those standards immediately. Another great thing to put in here is maybe any curriculum guides or curriculum resources. Another spot within the planner is student data, and just a fun one to track are student birthdays so you can celebrate them. Student information like preferences, um, any notes, any accommodations that they need, things like that. So we also have that there. We have student data tracking for any grades if you want to work on tracking grades. That's also really fun and a great practice for you as a student teacher. But not only thinking about their grade and the letter or the percentage that they earned, but thinking about what can I do better? What were some common mistakes? Were there any misconceptions? Could I have taught this piece better? That also proves for great reflection. There's spots for identifying student groups and thinking through, who works well, what kind of groupings do I want, how many do I want in each group. My favorite part is policy and procedures. We know that in student teaching, usually your first few days is a lot of observation, right? So you want to make sure that you have those observations down pat and you have the policies and procedures ready to go. Because you don't just want to sit there in the back of the room like a creeper just writing random stuff. Really being focused in on policies and procedures can help support you when you start to take over those little bits of teaching and learning. So what's the attendance procedure? How do they do lunch count? How do they collect homework, late work, absent work? What's the emergency preparedness procedure? How do students enter and exit the room? What do we do if students finish early? What if they need more time? How do students access their grades? What's the communication with families? What are some procedures for students to get materials? What are the policies for remote learning? And if you don't see these types of things in your observation while you're with the teacher, ask them. That's also really important. Weekly reflections. In this student teacher planner, there are 15 weekly reflection journal prompts for you to think about. The first one starts with relationships. How are you forming relationships with your mentor teacher, with your students, and with the staff at the school? And then thinking about what are some characteristics that your students bring to the table? What are some of their strengths? What are their areas of need? Now, along with each week, there's a spot for you to jot down your class schedule. When do you teach? What's the routine of the day? And also tracking your teaching and observation hours. Some things to think about for the week ahead, questions that you have, and notes to consider. So for each week, you have a reflection, you have your schedule, and you have your reflection observation document as well. And that's for each of the weeks. You also have a lesson plan at a glance and a lesson reflection. So this lesson plan as a glance is designed for you to include after you've written your entire lesson plan. This is a one pager that you pull that information from and put on your lesson plan at a glance. This is great for you to review prior to teaching your lesson. Just to refresh, okay, here's the page I need to be on. Here's what I need to be doing. Here are the accommodations. Here are the materials I need to make sure I have. And then after each lesson, we have a reflection piece with observations, things to consider whenever you would teach this lesson again. What are some takeaways that you have from this lesson about yourself, about your strategies, about your techniques? Did you explain content clearly? Maybe you need to go back and rethink some of the ways that you've explained the content. Another really nice way to work through this information is through calendars. So in the planner, we have a spot for important dates. We also have monthly, weekly, and daily planning. So the monthly has the month at a glance. You can check out the monthly calendar. There's also a weekly planner where it has each day broken down with priorities, to do, and notes. And then the daily breakdown, which starts from 6 a.m. and ends at 9 p.m., where you have spots for your top priorities, the date, and your to do list. So that's also really fabulous. And that's something new to the planner this year based on feedback from student teachers who used it last year. They said, oh, I'd really like to have a daily layout for each of my days that I'm in the classroom so I can use that for planning, which is fabulous. So we have that as well. And towards the end, there are divider spaces for mentor teacher evaluations, supervisor evaluations, and any notes that you have. In addition to this planner, you're going to want to add in your school calendar, university calendar, any other important calendars or syllabi that you have to go with student teaching, just so you have everything all in one spot. All right, Edge Magicians, so you can head on over to the EduMagic New Teacher Store over on TPT, and you can find the Student Teacher Digital Planner over there. If you're listening to it in real time, it's on sale today and August 7th for $6.40, or you can grab it for its regular price at $8 after the 7th. Remember that this planner was designed with you in mind. It was designed with intention to help you be successful during student teaching and help you get organized and ready to go during your student teaching placement. I wish you the best of luck during your student teaching. I would love to hear where you are heading, so please DM me over on Instagram at sfessage and let me know where your placement is. I would love to know. Also, I've started over on Instagram a channel. It's called the EduMagician Club. If you would like to join, please head on over. You can follow me at sfessich, that's SFECICH, and you can join the club. There I share polls and questions. I also share some little lives in there with some ed tech tools I'm discovering, and I would love to have you join that community. All right, EduMagicians, remember, you have the EduMagic within you. Bye for now.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the EduMagic New Educator podcast. If you found it helpful, please leave a rating and review or share it with a friend. Always remember, you have the EduMagic in you.